Listen closely, my friends. Have you ever felt a heavy, sinking knot in your stomach when your phone rings and you see a specific name on the screen? A name that belongs to someone you are supposed to love. A parent, a sibling, a childhood friend you've known for 20 years. We are taught from birth that family is everything. We are told that blood is thicker than water, that friends are the family you choose, and that you should never give up on the people you love. Society tells us that cutting ties is an act of cruelty, a sign of failure or a selfish betrayal. But what happens when that blood becomes toxic? What happens when the people who are supposed to be your safe harbor are actually the ones creating the storm? What happens when being around them makes you feel smaller, weaker, and utterly exhausted? If you are nodding your head right now, I want you to take a deep breath and listen to me very carefully. Asterisk, you are not a bad person for wanting to protect your peace. The ancient Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, were not cold, unfeeling robots. They were deeply connected to their families, their friends, and their communities, but they also understood a profound, hard truth that modern society often tries to hide. Asterisk, you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot build a peaceful life on a foundation of toxic relationships. The Stoics believed in the concept of the inner citadel. Your mind, your character, and your peace of mind are a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. You get to decide who is allowed inside the walls and who has to stay outside. Today, I am going to share with you the 8 undeniable signs that it is time to cut ties with someone, even if they are family and even if they are a lifelong friend. These signs are rooted in Stoic philosophy. They are not about being petty or holding grudges. They are about recognizing when a relationship is actively destroying your ability to live a virtuous, peaceful, and rational life. If you recognize even one of these signs in your life, pay close attention. This video might just give you the permission you need to finally set yourself free. Asterisk, sign number 1. They are an energy vampire. They drain your vital force. Let's start with the most obvious, yet most ignored, sign. How do you feel after you spend time with this person? When you hang out with healthy, supportive people, you feel energized, you feel inspired, you feel lighter. But when you are around a toxic person, you feel physically and mentally exhausted. It's like they have a hidden hose attached to your soul, slowly siphoning away your energy. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote a brilliant essay called On the Shortness of Life. He pointed out that we don't actually have a short life. We just waste a massive amount of it on things and people that don't matter. He warned us against letting others drain our time and our mental energy. If every phone call, every dinner, and every family gathering leaves you feeling like you need to take a 3-day nap to recover, your body is telling you something your brain is too polite to admit. They are an energy vampire. They feed on your attention, your empathy, and your patience, and they give absolutely nothing back. A Stoic values their time and their mental energy above almost everything else. If someone is consistently draining your vital force, you have a moral obligation to yourself to step away. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire just to keep someone else warm. Asterisk, sign number 2. They are boundary bulldozers. They disrespect your inner citadel. Imagine your mind is a house. You have a front door and you have a lock. A boundary is simply you telling someone, this is what I will accept, and this is what I will not accept. It's you locking the door to protect your peace. Toxic people hate boundaries. In fact, they view your boundaries as a personal insult. When you say no to a toxic family member or friend, they don't respect your decision. They push, they argue. They say things like, you're being too sensitive, or, after all I've done for you, this is how you treat me, or you've changed. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, taught the dichotomy of control. He said that some things are up to us and some things are not. Your boundaries are entirely up to you. But how other people react to your boundaries is up to them. If someone consistently bulldozes your boundaries, if they refuse to accept a simple no, They are showing you a fundamental lack of respect for you as a human being. They are trying to breach the walls of your inner citadel. A Stoic knows that you cannot control what others do, but you can control who you allow into your life. If someone cannot respect the walls you have built to protect your mental health, they do not deserve to be inside those walls. Sign number 3. They are blame shifters. They never take accountability. Think about the last time you had a disagreement with this person. What happened? In a healthy relationship, when someone messes up, they say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. How can I fix it?" There is a mutual understanding that we are all flawed humans who make mistakes. But with a toxic person, it is always your fault. If they yell at you, it's because you made them mad. If they lie to you, it's because you pushed them to it. If they forget an important promise, it's because you didn't remind them enough. They possess a magical, toxic superpower, the ability to reframe reality so that they are always the victim and you are always the villain. The Stoics placed a massive emphasis on self-reflection and taking ownership of your actions. Marcus Aurelius would sit down every night and review his day, asking himself where he failed and how he could do better. He knew that growth is impossible without accountability. If you are dealing with someone who is completely incapable of saying, "I was wrong," you are in a dead-end relationship. You cannot fix a dynamic with someone who refuses to look at their own flaws. You will spend the rest of your life trying to prove your innocence to a judge who has already decided you are guilty. Cut the tie and save your breath. Sign number 4. They are growth saboteurs. They mock your progress. This is a deeply painful one, especially when it comes from family. You decide to make a positive change in your life. Maybe you start going to the gym. Maybe you quit a bad habit. Maybe you start a business, or you begin reading books to improve your mind, or you decide to set healthier boundaries. Instead of being proud of you, they mock you. They roll their eyes. They make snide comments like, "Oh, look, Mr. Perfect over here," or "You think you're better than us now?" or "Don't get too big for your britches." They are trying to pull you back down into the mud with them. It's the classic crab bucket mentality. If they are miserable, they want you to be miserable too, because your growth highlights their stagnation. Your progress makes them uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius wrote about living in accordance with your nature. He believed that our purpose as human beings is to grow, to learn, to contribute, and to become the best versions of ourselves. If the people around you are actively trying to sabotage your growth, they are standing in the way of your purpose. The Stoics say, the obstacle is the way. Sometimes, the obstacle is a person, and the way forward is to quietly remove them from your path. You cannot fly if the people holding your ankles refuse to let go. Sign number 5. They force you to wear a mask. You can't be your true self. How much energy does it take to pretend to be someone you are not? It is utterly exhausting. When you are around healthy people, you can relax. You can speak your mind. You can share your weird quirks, your genuine opinions, and your true feelings. You feel safe, but around a toxic person, you are constantly walking on eggshells. You filter every word that comes out of your mouth. You hide your true opinions because you know they will judge you, mock you, or start a fight. You wear a mask of compliance just to keep the peace. You shrink yourself down to a size that is comfortable for them. The Stoics believed deeply in living in truth and living in alignment with nature. To live a lie, to constantly hide your true character just to appease someone else, is a violation of your own soul. It creates a deep internal friction that leads to anxiety and depression. If you cannot be your authentic, unfiltered self around someone, the relationship is built on a lie. You are not in a relationship with them. You are in a relationship with the mask you wear for them. A Stoic values truth above all else. If a relationship requires you to lie about who you are, it is time to take off the mask and walk away. 6. They are chaos addicts. They thrive on drama. Some people are addicted to peace, but toxic people are addicted to chaos. Their lives are always a mess. They are always in a feud with a neighbor, a co-worker, or another family member. They are always in a crisis. And they want you to be right in the middle of it with them. They want you to take their side, validate their anger, and help them fight their battles. If you try to offer them calm, rational advice, they ignore it. They don't want solutions. They want an audience for their drama. They want you to get just as angry and upset as they are. Epictetus taught us that we should not let the emotions of others infect our own minds. He said that when someone is angry, we should not get angry back, because then there are two angry people instead of one. Toxic people use drama as a weapon to control your attention. If you are not feeding their chaos, they will create a new crisis just to pull you back in. A Stoic seeks tranquility. They seek a quiet mind. If someone is constantly dragging you into their emotional tornado, you must step out of the storm. Let them have their drama. You choose your peace. Sign number 7. They weaponize guilt. They manipulate your emotions. This is the most insidious sign of all, because it uses your own good heart against you. Toxic people are masters of the guilt trip. If you don't do what they want, they play the victim. They sigh heavily. They say things like, "I guess I just don't matter to you anymore," or "After everything I sacrificed for you, this is the thanks I get," or "Well, I wouldn't expect you to understand." They are trying to bypass your rational brain and hack directly into your emotional brain. They want you to feel so guilty that you surrender your boundaries just to make the bad feeling go away. The Stoics were the ultimate masters of reason over emotion. They knew that guilt, when used manipulatively, is a lie. It is an emotional trick designed to control you. Seneca warned us about the dangers of being swayed by emotions that are not based on reason. When someone tries to guilt trip you, pause. Ask yourself, am I actually doing something wrong, or are they just upset that I am no longer doing what they want? If you are acting with virtue, kindness, and fairness, you have nothing to feel guilty about. Do not let someone else's manufactured guilt dictate your life choices. Recognize the manipulation for what it is, and refuse to play the game. The sign number 8. It is a one-way street. The relationship is entirely unbalanced. Finally, look at the balance of the relationship. In a healthy friendship or family bond, there is a natural give and take. Sometimes you need them. Sometimes they need you. You listen to their problems and they listen to yours. You celebrate their wins and they celebrate yours. But with a toxic person, it is a one-way street. It is always about them. Their problems, their drama, their needs, their feelings. When you try to talk about your day or your struggles, they quickly change the subject back to themselves. They forget your birthday. They don't show up when you need them. But the second they need something, they expect you to drop everything. The Stoics believed in the virtue of justice, which includes fairness, reciprocity, and treating others with mutual respect. A relationship that is entirely one-sided is fundamentally unjust. It is an exploitation of your kindness. You are not a utility. You are not a therapist. You are not an emotional dumping ground. You are a human being who deserves mutual respect and care. If you are the only one rowing the boat, you are just going to spin in circles until you collapse. Put down the oars. The Stoic way to cut ties. How to do it? Recognize the signs. You know it's time to cut ties. But how do you do it? If you are a normal person, your instinct might be to have a massive, screaming confrontation. You want to list all their flaws, tell them exactly how they've hurt you, and slam the door. But remember, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. A Stoic does not cut ties with screaming, crying, or dramatic Facebook posts. A Stoic cuts ties with quiet, unbothered dignity. Here is the Stoic exit strategy. 1. Stop initiating. Stop calling. Stop texting. Stop inviting them over. Match their energy or simply give them zero energy. 2. Become a grey rock. When they do reach out, be as boring and unreactive as a grey rock. Give short, polite, but emotionally empty responses. Okay, I see. Hope you're well. Do not feed them the drama they crave. 3. Set the boundary and enforce it. If they cross a line, calmly state the consequence and follow through. I'm not going to continue this conversation if you yell at me. I'm hanging up now. And then actually hang up. Point 4. Accept it. Amor fati. The Stoics practiced amor fati, loving your fate. Accept that this chapter of your life is over. Do not waste time wishing they were different. Accept them exactly as they are, and accept that their presence is no longer compatible with your future. Cutting ties is not an act of hate. It is an act of profound self-love. It is you finally deciding that your peace of mind is more important than someone else's comfort. If this video resonated with you, if it gave you the courage to finally set a boundary or walk away from a toxic situation, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let them know they are not alone and that they have the right to protect their peace. And if you want to continue building an unbreakable mind and living a life of true freedom, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of people who choose wisdom, virtue, and peace over chaos every single week. Until next time, guard your inner citadel, protect your peace, and never apologize for choosing yourself.